Warning: the following may contain adult themes, concepts, and languages. Be aware that there is a separation between the character and the player, even when the pronoun I is used.
I'm keeping it at this room.
Okay.
Because what I'm going to talking and getting a room wouldn't be that useful. So, all of you were just allowed to enter the doorway. It's opened up, and there's like hallway, the same size as the doors. The stone of the hallway itself, fully black, and it's not a darkness black, but it's more like an obsidian type of black. And it's that's what you see. Are you going to walk into the door or ask anything?
Well, I'd like to open the door instead of walking into it.
Seems legit. The door was opened by them.
Oh, okay.
By the two statues.
I'll walk
do anything.
through the doorway.
Okay. Are you going to do that this day? Fine.
I don't want to walk into the door.
Alright. So you walk through the hallway.
Yeah.
And after a while, you can on both sides the walls get lower and lower and lower. And when you are when you're walking through and you look at both sides, you can see a room which is it's so massive you cannot find the words. You cannot describe how big it is. You cannot even see the end.
Ginormous.
No, ginormous doesn't do it.
Darn it. I tried.
It would be like looking at the skies at a completely clear night and see the stars way beyond. And on the floor and there are multiple like layers, and each and every of those layers has strings on them, which are run vertically from one end to another, wherever that may be. And the sides getting lower and lower, and in a while the sides are completely gone. So you're walking inside this room with a passageway, and after a minute or 5 of walking, you finally see a hooded figure sitting behind a weaving wheel, and he is spinning the threads, and he's just spinning the threads. He's not paying attention to you guys. Go ahead.
I elbow Yuma.
What did you say, Rat, right before I was elbowed? I didn't catch that.
There's a guy on a spinning wheel, or a creature on a spinning wheel. It's hooded, and it's spinning the wires or the threads, and it's not paying any attention to you.
So it's just like spinning around in a circle, kind of like on a merry-go-round thing.
It's spinning
like
a
those
thread.
Things. Oh, it's spinning a thread.
No, he's not literally spinning.
Okay, spinning a thread. Okay.
You spin me right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I go up to him and I say, "Hello,
One
dearie."
moment, please. 1 moment. Almost done. Just stand there or something. Then you can see that he's spinning the thread, and at one point, the things he's spinning it with is gone. Just grabs the end of the thread and hangs it within a multitude of threads behind him. So, that's that. Well,
Thank you. May I ask what you're doing? What is all this thread for?
I'm spinning threads of faith. Or fate.
Mm-hmm.
It's an important job, you know.
Did you say faith or fate?
Faith.
And
Fate.
okay.
Yeah. I meant fate.
Now, what is your name?
My name? My name is actually more of my profession. People call me, or everyone actually calls me, the Fate Weaver.
How original.
Yeah, I know.
How long have you been doing it?
Forever?
Yeah, basically.
Come on.
So what's our fate?
Wow, jumping right through.
Ooh, interesting. Someone who is actually daring to ask the question up front. Well, you see, of course, our trip here was foretold by myself. I love this job. Each and every one of you have a, well, most of you at least, have a couple of choices to make. And usually you'd make your choices side. But your choices are rather interesting. And it may or may not change a lot of other things, which will give me some work. So basically I'm going to let you choose whatever you want to choose right here.
Okay.
So who's first? Nobody's first?
This will only affect things that will happen instead of giving us knowledge of what has happened.
It won't necessarily give you knowledge of what will happen, it will give you a starting point most of the time. And sometimes it gives a little bit of knowledge of what will happen. I don't deal in the past, I deal in the now and in the possible future. The past has already been gone, I've done that.
I step
we have
forward
this-
and say, "Yeah, interesting. I will hear you out."
Well then, we'll start with you, Drake. Let's see, Drake Domar, where is your... Ah, here they are. Well, as you can see clearly, and he's holding 5 threads in front of you. There are 5 threads with your name on it. They have the same beginning. Every single one of them has a different ending. The problem is, a person cannot have more than one. It brings all types of problems. We tried it, didn't work. So, you're going to have to choose which one of the 5 you wish to keep. And where did I leave those? And he just goes around his workplace, which is not messy, but it's completely filled with thread. And he grabs a small note. This one. I've been given this by someone else. Let's see, the first one. Okay, I am going to read you 5 little notes, and you're going to have to choose one of them to interest the most. After you've chosen, you will the threads yourself.
I will what threads myself?
You will cut these threads.
Okay.
You hold the 5 again yourself, or at least 4 of the 5. Please don't cut all of them. It's a mess. You'll probably just die where you're standing.
Okay, good to know.
The first little one. Ahem. I love Bart. Living in the mountains, strong like stone. Aim of the king, yet rule alone. Multiple rulers and counsel for all. Your name is your ticket to bring the betrayers to fall. If you wish to have the notes, I'll grant you them later.
Yeah, if I could
Something.
something to look them over would be nice instead of having.
Yeah, sure. I'll first tell all of them. Some things should be rushed. Fate is one of them. Faith also. Second one. From when they come, the witch is in name. Based in a slum, rich with power, money and fame. Nothing will be free, the price might be high, but remember, you won't stay in power without being sly. The third one. Father from here, mother from there, his heritage is resembled within his hair. With the stiff at its sides, everything inside will not be able to hide. After that we get the fourth. Argetlam o Argetlam, sharer of your soul. Magic flows through you, both like Magic flows through you both like ink rolls from a scroll. You are now the last, weakened by the time. Your life is not yet over. A final task remains to pay for crime. And the final one. You found what you were looking for, even if you don't know. There is no need to travel further. You know, you now just need to grow. But if you continue on your journey, do not tamper with fate. You will lose everything you had unless you put things straight. I'll just give you your list, and you don't have to choose immediately. I'll just go to the next person who wishes to talk.
Okay.
I'll go.
Just give me a second. Ctrl C of seeing everything. Wham. This is 4. And finally. Yuma Bognym, correct? Of course I am.
That's right.
Of course I am.
Your fate is a little bit more basic. There are still some choices to be made. Let's see. Well, the first thing I'll probably have to tell you is you're not the first of your family to be here. I have seen both of your parents.
How long ago?
I wouldn't know. To me, everything was one big slur. But it's recent enough. You were already born. Let's see. Yeah, Yuma. Tyraneus, this goes for you too, by the way.
Okay.
Both of you will find a couple of interesting answers at the same place and time. I'd suggest that you stay together. And finally, Yuma. Well, I'll just show you. Not only did I see your parents, I can also show you this if I can find them within this mess. He just disappears out of nowhere, and you wait for 30 seconds, and then he reappears at the exact same spot, holding 2 lines in his hand, which still continue. These are your mother and father's fate lines. As you can see, they haven't ended yet. I think that should tell you enough.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he just drops them within the tangled mess of lines. Don't worry, they're not broken. Not again, at least. Next!
Okay, I step forward.
Tyraneus. You already know your name. Heads or tails?
Why do you ask?
Well, grabs a coin. Ding! Throws it in the air, grabs it in his hand, put it on his head. Heads or tails?
Heads.
Let's see. And it's heads. Congratulations. That's everything I need from you.
Sure, whatever. I walk away.
Wow.
Okay.
Let's see. And finally, Marley. Marley, Marley, Marley. Well, let me start with this. Your original mission, the thing which made you travel, you'll remember it, correct?
Yes.
You are in no shape to actually pursue that right now. You're not strong enough. It's not your time yet, at least for that specific thing. But you can do some pre-work already. I've got 3 strings for you. The beginning is the same, their ending is the same. But the way they take are different, that's why they are free. The first thing, the first string, also has it's not a riddle per se, it's a simple story. Most forget what happens over time, but there are a few who do not. Search for the oldest beings of this earth, and you will know, and find what they know. It's a start to help you on your way. The second string, and he holds up the second string. Nope, wrong one. Knowledge is gathered by many creatures, but few are as good as the librarians. Search for one of the ancient libraries. Get entry and gain information. A word of warning though, the libraries don't give for free, and stealing from them is stupid. And your final thing, the final option. Deep in the Iron Tip Mountains, on the top of the highest peak, are ancient caves. Some kin of dragons still live within those caves. They will know more of what you want to find out. If they want to talk to you, that's the second thing. You'll have to discover that for yourself, I guess. So for you comes the same kind of choice as Drake had. You need to snip 2 of the lines and keep one of them going.
What were the 3? There was libraries, the caves, and what else?
I put them in the chat. They are a little bit through.
Yeah, I see.
Most forget what happens before over time.
Oh,
What happened
okay.
before over time.
I
But
see,
there are a
okay.
few who do not.
Okay, I see that one. Okay, thanks.
So that's for you, Tommy. Or Marley. And after that, he looks at Rita. Rita! How nice of you to be here. I could say that I expected you, but I'd be lying, to be honest.
Really?
Well, my poor Rita. Your fate is not like these 4. Yours is completely set. There's nothing you can do about it, actually. It was set by, at your birth, out of my control. You have some sort of choice, though. And it can be summed up like this. Will you get dragged into the arena, or will you walk into it by yourself, head held up high? Yeah, I don't like being a bearer of bad news, though I am most of the time. But here your life doesn't have to be all tears. And at that moment he looks straight at your face, Drake. And then looks back to Rita. And finally, if you wish for power, you know who you can speak to.
Great.
You also know the cost. I hope that you can find some comfort in the word I spoke. And then he turns to both Drake and Tommy. Your choices, gentlemen. I have work to do.
I shall definitely cut the second.
So you will cut the second. Okay. He hands you a pair of scissors.
So the one with the witches and name. A price that might be high is a price that is too high.
It is your fate.
So I snip that one.
You can, the moment you put your scissor in on the cord, you can feel your body just tightening up, and when it's snipped, you can feel tension release. It is not a pleasant feeling. 4 more to go. Or
So
3 more to go, actually.
3 more to go. Yes.
2 more to snip though. Don't snip all 3.
3 more to go. 3 more to snip.
3
There
more
are
to snip.
4 left.
So I wish.
The witch's in name is the same as the nothing will be for you.
Yeah.
No, he
Yeah, it's the same as nothing will be free.
yeah,
Oh.
that's the same.
Okay.
So and then with the stiff at his side, everything in sight will not be able to hide. With the stiff, what is the stiff?
A dead body?
Dead weight.
Somebody who's gonna die soon?
Could be a like hard object such as a sword, you know, or an iron scepter,
I'm
or
thinking dead weight, given the situation. Living in mountain strong like sun, the king yet rule alone. I do not wish to rule. I will snip that one.
Which one will you snip?
The first one.
Yeah, you snip the first one, you feel the same pain, and he says, "There's one more choice to make. After that choice, I will grant you a quick view over your fate of the 2 lines that remain. It'll be sparse, but it might help to choose."
3, 4, 5. I shall snip. I shall not risk my family. I will snip, as I think the third states. So I shall cut the third.
You cut the third, and the same thing happens. What happens with the first and the second? He now holds 2 threads. You can touch them. I do not know what you will see. It might be good, it might be bad, it might be the truth, or it at least the truth, but it's not necessarily the entire way that you will see. You see darkness, but
Okay.
the darkness can be momentarily.
Okay. I touched the 4th.
You can also see happiness, but
I touched the 4th first.
you first touch the fourth. You see a beginning view of 2 men standing in front of each other, shouting. You cannot hear what they say, but you can see that they are angry at each other.
Do I recognize them at all?
You don't recognize them. The image changes, and you are now on top of a hill, or actually on top of a mountain. It's cold, it's snowing. You are looking from a person's perspective, and you notice that the person is not alone, though you do not see any around you. The third, you see 2 massive armies standing on opposite side of a field.
Are they racially different? Can I tell that?
They are not racially, well, one is dark, the other is less dark, but I don't mean dark as in skin, it's more of a hue that comes from it, and you are flying above the dark.
Okay.
The next view that you get is a short snip of the end of the battle. A massive explosion which rips the entire land apart. And the final view that you get is you in a cave, bound by something that you cannot see, but you do feel it. And a portal in front of you is opened, and out of the portal steps a demon. The demon snips his finger and your guns are gone. And you follow the demon into the portal, followed by another creature. The same creature that you knew was on you at the mountain, but you cannot see it.
Should have snipped this one. Okay, I touched the 5th.
You touch the 5th. You see, you look out of the eyes of a person, and you see 2 children playing inside of a decent-sized house, or a decent-sized room. The children have scales on them, slight horns on the top, and they seem happy. It then changes to you standing in a room in front of a half dragon, and you give the dragon, or you look out of the eyes and the person gives the half dragon something. It's a potion. The half dragon drinks it and falls to the floor. And after that you see yourself or you see a person. I'm speaking like this out of your point of view. So you see yourself standing in front of a altar, on your knees, praying to what you don't know. But the only thing you do feel is that you miss something. You feel that you have done something terrible, and you try to find a way to rectify it.
I ask the Fate Weaver, and I ask, though I may choose one fate, my mind and actions are still my own. If I do something differently because of what I just saw, though I choose that fate, would that change the outcome?
It might change the outcome, but know this. A lot of fate is bound. And knowing fate and then trying to change it often leads to the thing you actually didn't want to happen. If the god
Anakin
wants
Skywalker.
if a god wants a creature to die at a certain place at a certain time, will guide that creature to that place and to that time, at that time. Even if the creature wants to avoid it, in the end it will notice that he didn't.
You spoke earlier how Rita's fate was set. Does this imply that there is a force stronger than fate?
There's always a force stronger than fate.
Is it the obvious one?
Obvious? You mean love?
Yes.
You have spoken too much with the elves, I think.
Well, I mean, look at me.
I'm sort of happy to say and sort of sad to say that it is not love. Love is a powerful force to be reckoned with. It's a human or a humanoid feeling. It is not law.
Well, I shall cut the 4th.
Cutting the 4th it is.
So assuming I don't die a terrible death, apparently I'm gonna have I'm gonna have kids?
You
I don't
cut
know.
the 4th.
Yeah, I cut the 4th. I'm not taking the 4th. I'm cutting it.
Some choices are harder to make others, but you have made yours. Now live with it.
Oh, I have no choice in that matter. Anymore.
At least you can know. At least you know that. It helps. Some.
It may lead some
then
to
let's-
hope and some to despair.
You're an interesting fellow, aren't you?
A little bit.
Marley. Your choices. Cut 2. Keep 1. The first cut is blind.
I'm gonna cut the third one.
Alright, cutting the third.
Darn it, no dragons! But yeah.
And
Are
I
you
think
are you immediately gonna cut them, or are you going to ask an image? Or Clint?
yeah, I'll ask for an image for both of them.
You first touch the first wire? Or thread?
Yep.
You touch the first thread and you see you're standing in front of the forest, which stretches from one side of the horizon to the other, and right in front of it lies a big river. It's thick, wide. You hear yourself say, well, this is it. This is the start. And you walk into the forest, scared, but relieved. The second one is you are looking at a map, and on the map 3 different locations are dotted or encircled, and it's each circle has a little scribbling next to it which you cannot read. You are certain that these are the locations of the libraries you seek. You look at your own body and you can see a couple of wounds. It was difficult to get this, but now that you have it, you are certain you'll get the answers you need to save a whole lot of. From the hallway you hear a shout that you need to go right now. And a few ends.
I think I'm gonna cut the first one. Yeah, I'm gonna cut the first one.
Okay, you cut the first one. Like the previous, you have the same feeling as Golf had. Or Drake. With the sudden feeling of being completely tense and then being completely relaxed. The Fate Weaver just leans back. Well, that was that. Your fate are now sealed. Or your fate is now sealed, as it goes for every one of you.
Out of curiosity, had we not arrived here, what would have happened to those multiple strings of fate?
What do you mean, had we not arrived here?
Well, I would assume that there are other beings that have multiple strings of fate who have never been here. How is it handled in that circumstance?
You are incorrect in your assuming. Everyone who I wish to come here will come here. It may not be through the way you got here, but they will get here sooner or later.
I see. You have a get out of jail free card.
No, not necessarily. It's just that your faith already told you to be here.
He not only has a get out of jail free card, he controls the dice.
Yeah. And every card in the chance pile is a get out of jail free card. Anyway.
Which would make it not a chance pile. Anyway.
Yeah. Because it's fate. It's a fate pile.
Yeah.
Anyway, that made no sense if we were doing that in character.
You're just talking to each other and a fate weaver. He just lets it go. He has seen weirder stuff. He lives in a room with no end. I mean, come on. So, about you guys. You can leave the same way you came through. Mention to the statues that they should revive the spiders when you are out of the building. If you'd please. I need their threats.
After we've left, correct?
After you left. You can do it before you left. I mean, if you want to fight them again.
Not particularly. I almost died. I know, fate. I wasn't going to, I get it. But still. Just silence, no response.
He's like, well, whatever.
I believe that...
He starts going back to work.
Before we go, I believe that an individual who passed through this area at the very least came out with a weapon. That's how...
Oh yeah, that idiot. Oh, that was amazing. He says while he's still working. Yeah, basically he keeps working. I set traps for certain people, and sometimes people actually come my portals without me calling them. And of course I cannot have that. Well, it's all basically faith. I spawned a couple of enchanted weapons.
To get him to leave.
And
I think his sword spawned. What
he just hit. He stole one of them and just moved on.
I see.
Well, I couldn't really call it stealing though. I don't know the right word. Whatever. I know. I knew that weapon was going to give him a lot of trouble.
Actually, it gave the person he sold it to a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, you haven't heard the entire story, have you?
Not the entire story, no.
Do you want to hear it?
Sure, why not?
Alright. He keeps on working while saying this. It's apparently not important enough to him to lay down his work. Well, he got a pretty nice amount of money for that dagger. And he spent it all. He was a gambler of some sorts. He spent a lot of his money that he gained. And as all or most gamblers without any luck, he ended up in debt. Needless to say, he couldn't pay it back, he fled, he was caught. And for what I know, he should be at the pits by now.
Interesting. The pits are the... I don't know. I'm trying to word this in a way that wouldn't... Because I'm thinking player knowledge, character knowledge. So I guess I just ask, the pits?
Yes, the pits. Do you not know of the pits?
Would I know of the pits, Mr. DM?
Probably not, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think my character...
Any of you with a criminal background?
No, I don't think so.
Alright, then no. Well, Toby.
Yep.
Where were you raised again? You were raised secluded, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
How and or when were you raised?
Secluded is what he gave an example of.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to remember how old I was when I left, but I basically been on my own since I think I was a teenager. But then with living with an elven druid for like 30 years
Yeah, but
in the woods.
you haven't spent any time with the criminal underworld, with Drower, etc.
No, not at all.
No, okay.
I don't think he would, given that he personally executed a drow.
Well, it might make you hostile towards Drow if you live with them long enough.
I guess.
So, okay,
Hence the
that's,
drow.
Yeah. No, then none of you would actually know what the pits are.
Okay. I asked the pits.
Yes, the pits. You are starting to repeat yourself.
They are the pits, apparently. Are you referring to a literal pit? Like...
I'm referring to a location.
Oh, that's vague. I'm trying to ask this in a way that might make sense for my character. Like, is this a... Because I think, when I hear pits, I think a criminal pit or, like, the pit of hell.
He shortly stops with his work, looks directly in your eyes and says, "If you don't know yet, you might. But I'm not gonna tell you."
Okay. Alright. Well, I don't want to overstay our welcome, at least not any further. Does anyone else have a question you wanted to ask him? I asked them.
Well, if you want, you can sit here in this large, open, abandoned room and eat something, but yeah, otherwise... there's nothing for you here, I guess.
I ask him, are there any other questions that we should be asking?
Are there any other questions you want to ask?
Your question is, do I have a good question?
Yeah, that we're not
And
asking.
his answer is, do you?
You can't answer a question with a question. That breaks the question rules.
He's like, ha! I'm a god, I can do whatever the hell I want.
I like you.
Thank you. You're not that bad of a creature yourself.
Thank you. And
I have one more question for him about one thing he told me. He said that my mother and my father's, both of their lines have not yet ended, so does that mean they're both alive?
That's generally the rule, yes.
if their lines, although I would like to say upon hearing this,
If your line ends or gets snapped, you're dead.
Okay.
line as in the line of fate.
Yes.
Okay, not bloodline. That's different because obviously you're still alive.
Right, that's what I mean. That's what. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay.
I
So,
guess
you're done here?
I suppose so, and would like to I would personally like to exit from which we came.
Alright, off you go then, little mortals.
And do we just turn around and leave, or are we like poofed magically to the entrance?
No, turn around.
Okay.
He's not gonna waste any magic.
Out of curiosity,
Yeah?
in my vision, what color skin were those kids? You said they were scaled, right?
Yes. You're not certain anymore.
Okay.
The vision, the details of your vision of what you've seen, the same goes for you, by the way, Marley, are disappearing, and the further you walk through the hallway, less vivid they become. And by the time you...
There is one thing I remember though, and that is the potion. I like immediately... Oh, come on.
By the time you actually leave the room, and the room closes, the only thing you remember is cutting a few wires, or a few threads.
Oh, that's mean. I would have written that down.
And the weird feeling you get from it.
So that was
Is that
technically...
just for them too?
Since I was technically writing that down on my computer, can I say I was writing it down in my book?
Everybody remembers like a snap bit. They remember cutting wires, and you guys, one of you remembers a coin toss, and Yuma, you remember that something told you that your parents are still alive.
Okay, that's good enough for me.
Well, beep.
And yeah.
I don't want to kill him. That would totally defeat my purpose. Since I wrote that down, can I say that I wrote that down in my book that I have that's blank? Because that's important.
Look at it.
Okay, I look at it.
It's scribbled in a language. You have no clue what it says. You thought you might have actually been completely high. You have no clue what happened.
Okay, but it is written there, and it looks to be in some kind of weird. It's not like it's theoretically like it seems to be some form to it.
There definitely seems some form to it.
Okay, so
Yeah, it's formal gibberish.
theoretically, if it counts as a language or an understanding,
It's drunken speak.
there is like magic, so maybe I could use magic to see what the heck I wrote at some point. I'll keep that in mind.
So all of you. Oh, and at the moment you want to walk away, and you look at the statues again. In your head pops in a thing you need to say to the statues.
After we leave and are far from them, vitalize the spiders. The two of you is what? What? Someone told me to. What? Yeah.
All right, thank you for the message.
And
I whispered to Drake on the way out. Why do you want to revive the spiders?
I didn't. Someone told me to, but I don't remember who.
You're crazy.
Magic.
But I like you.
Wait, what? For
Not that kind of life.
For whatever reason, upon hearing that, Drake is a little more panicked than he would normally be, and he doesn't know why. And for whatever reason, he suddenly thinks Rita is a little more attractive. He doesn't know why that's the case either.
Oh boy.
I mean, she was already very attractive. She was just always like in bad shape, so it never really showed.
Whatever gets your character going, I guess.
Okay.
Alright, all of you just move out of the building casually, and the moment you step out of the house or inside the house, you can suddenly hear tripling feet below.
So they're active again.
You are fairly certain that they are.
Okay.